Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim or Cimnanya. Thank you so much for the love and support. I hope you all are doing great. So, I came across this woman's video. I mean, this woman was part of the people chastising Black women or Black people in general, saying that how are Black people going to support Kamala Harris, knowing her history with genocide, especially that is happening in Palestine, and she is Palestinian, right? Only to find out that this woman is Trumper. I don't know how to say this. I don't know, I am trying to wrap my head around this because how do people, oh my goodness, see, this is really crazy. I mean, people think, how do people do things like this? Vote against their own interests with clear eyes. You all remember that the video that was circulating around where they told them not to vote for Kamala Harris, instead of that, they should vote for Trump, right? See, they've been denying it. When Black people say something, look very well, it is true. Because Black people saw it ahead of time that they voted for before all those videos came out. Sincerely speaking, they voted for Trump with their chest. And they are still coming out to call Black people out for not sticking with them and also blaming them for who they chose to vote for, saying that they did not vote for the other person they voted for. Is it green or what? Hey, let's get into this.
For the past few months, I have been harassed, absolutely harassed by people in my DMs asking me, demanding me, interrogating me as to why I follow Donald Trump. And honestly, I found this to be so ridiculous that it didn't even deserve my attention nor my defense. But I feel like the amount of people who have been harassing me at this point speaks to a larger issue, which is that I sincerely believe that liberals are in a fucking cult, okay? This is cult-like mentality. And it is the entrapment of one's mind where you are not allowing someone to see all sides of the spectrum because you think that we share certain values and we shouldn't be giving any attention to this. I think that it's one of the greatest disservices you can do for yourself and for your community. Now, for a lot of you who are new to following me, I am a person who went to school for journalism. I am a writer. I am a filmmaker. I am a researcher. It is my journalistic responsibility to understand all sides of the spectrum. And I want to say that it's also my responsibility as an American citizen to always understand all sides of the spectrum. Does this make me a Trump supporter? No. But when I went to Palestine, I didn't just live with Palestinians and interview Palestinians. It was imperative for me. It was necessary for me to also give that same attention to Israelis. So I lived with Israelis. I interviewed Israelis. Not because I suddenly empathized or something, but because for me to truly understand what was happening in Palestine, to truly understand the occupation of Palestine, to truly understand how we got to the genocide of Palestinians, I needed to see all sides of the spectrum. And not only can I understand this from a emotional level, I can speak to this from a very factual level, okay? And I think that this is really important. And I feel like a lot of people are unable to do this because this is how living in America has taught us. Okay, the US media does a really good job at indoctrinating all of us. And the US media is very liberal. And it's one of the main reasons why I started following Donald Trump, because I realized that most of the news outlets were no longer reporting on his campaign. They were trying to make it seem almost like he was irrelevant for months, or like actually for the last 2 years. He was barely on CNN or MSNBC. And I remember thinking to myself, like, let me go follow him and check to see what he's saying. Because I knew what they were trying to do was deter people from listening to what he had to say and be enamored by him, because that is what they did in 2016. They were constantly reporting his campaign, and it actually got him to be very popular. But this time they thought that if they didn't report on him, people would just think that he was a non-motherfucking factor and not vote for him. But actually what that did was people wanted to know, wait, why isn't the media reporting on Donald Trump? Let me go follow him. And then they were, again, enamored by him, and they ended up voting for him. This is one of the most influential people of our times. And I think that if you cannot handle listening to someone who is going to be the leader of this nation, I think you need to investigate why. And I think that if you're at that space of like, you're following Donald Trump, I'm unfollowing you. Please, go right ahead and unfollow me. But I just think that that mindset is so elementary. It's very elementary. Like, your thought processes actually have to evolve. Like, you're mad at me for following someone who is going to be the leader of this nation. And people were like, oh, why don't you then follow Biden or Kamala? Like, because the US media is already so liberal. If I wanted to know what they were saying, I wouldn't have to go very far to find it, because every U.S. media station, news outlet was constantly showing us what they were saying and what they were doing. They are the administration in charge right now. So I say all of this to say that I think it's really important that people allow for themselves to see all sides of a spectrum to truly understand what is going on. And even when we think about Israel and Palestine, like, the main reason people were so pro-Israel for so long was because the U.S. media and the U.S. government were never giving the mic to the Palestinian resistance. They were never showing you the Palestinian side. They were constantly showing you the Israeli side, and they're constantly still showing only the Israeli side. It is imperative that we are constantly looking to see all sides of the spectrum to truly understand what is happening. And that doesn't mean that you always have to empathize, but hey, you might learn something. And I think that people think that I already know Donald Trump. I already know what he's going to say. I don't want to follow him. Like, you don't know everything. You don't know everything. I don't know everything. Actually, the older I get, I'm humbled to realize that I don't know everything. And learning, I'm always up for learning more. Some of my favorite journalists, some of the greatest academics also follow Donald Trump, and they're all liberals as well. Stop doing yourself a disservice by bullying people who are just regular people. Really. Some of you are out here constantly pointing fingers at people who are just trying to get by, who work 9-to-5 jobs, who are trying to at least trying to make a difference. And I am not your fucking enemy. Please, I am not your enemy. But if you feel like you need to unfollow me, please go ahead. I would rather have 100 followers who truly understand me than 1,000,000 followers who don't really know me at all.
At this point, it's failed rage bait because they waited months to finally respond to it. So if there were people harassing her about whether or not she supported Donald Trump, she waited until after the election. That was a deliberate choice. That was very strategic. It was intentional for her to come out after he's already won to say, well, what's wrong with seeing both sides of the spectrum, when she never responded before, ignored it. But now she wants to speak on it. And the only thing that she will successfully do is get people to block her, because why are we even still talking about this? Like, if you support him, you don't support him. You ignored it all these other months. Why speak on it now? So if it's rage bait, she failed at it, because nobody's arguing with a Trump supporter. Like, they've already said they're cutting people out of their personal life that supported Donald Trump. You think they won't block you on social media? It's like, I need to see. No, you don't. Have you not seen enough? When people say, oh, we can't just, yes, we can. Yes, we can. The only people that don't feel like they need to get any additional information are usually Trump supporters. But yeah, she got that blocked. Well, technically she blocked me first, but let's not argue semantics.
Me, demanding me, interrogating me as to why I follow Donald Trump.
I knew it. I knew it because it was the only thing that made sense. Go back and watch my sister's entire video, which is a video of that Pe0ple content creator. And that Pe0ple content creator grew her platform here on TikTok, being a mouthpiece, being a support, being a driver for the pro-Pali movement. She was one who weaponized her platform and her supporters to go after other content creators who weren't using their platforms to speak up and about what was going on in Palestine. She talked negatively about Joe Biden, which I'm not saying is wrong. I understand the reason why they were attacking Joe Biden. She was one calling for a new candidate, and I don't even think she's here in the United States. I for sure don't know because I don't follow these people like that. But yeah, she was big on TikTok pushing out the movement. And then when Kamala Harris became the nominee, she used her platform to spread misinformation about Kamala Harris, calling her a cop, saying that she jailed all of these black men when she was the attorney general over in the state of California, pushing lies. And now she's talking about why she's a follower of Donald Trump. And she says she's a follower of Donald Trump because liberals are a cult. I knew it. I knew it. And I will not be shocked if all the rest of them are also followers of Donald Trump and MAGA. That is the only explanation as to why every time y'all asked, what is the plan? If we don't vote for Democrats, what is the plan? They had no plan. They couldn't come back with a plan because the plan was to get Donald Trump into office. This is why it was so easy for them to use their platforms to go after black women on this app who were talking about their support for Kamala Harris and why. We could tell you the plans that she was bringing forth that was going to help not only their community, but our communities. We could tell you what our plan was. Get Kamala Harris into office, and we can for sure get her to negotiate for us and for you. And she's going to bring forth policies that benefit us and you if you live here in the United States. And then, while all of this is going on, if Kamala Harris were to get into office, you all could bring forth a valid third-party candidate to start building their base so in 2028, they will have a standing in the political arena here in the United States. Black women here in the United States had a plan, and we could voice that plan. We could tell you why we were standing against Donald Trump. We could list all of the policies that he was planning to implement that would hurt us and them. We could run it down. They could not do the same. They had no comeback, but yet they were attacking only Democrats. They were attacking only Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. They were attacking black women who had a solid plan. And now we know why. I guarantee you, they all are Trump supporters. They all stand with white supremacy and racism. They all view themselves superior to black people and our voices. And that is why they stand with Donald Trump and MAGA nuts. And now that Donald Trump has won, she specifically is comfortable in coming out to tell you that she follows Donald Trump, and it's because liberals are in a cult. Who does that sound like? Baby Cat Williams was in line when he said 2024 was going to be the year of truth and exposure. There's another month to go in 2024. I can't wait to see what it is that we are going to learn.
So this is all I got from this video, and I really love how the whole thing is unfolding. And the best I can say is Black women just stay away from Black people in general, stay away from them, because these people like it. I just don't know how to. I am trying so hard to process this, but these people are just something else. Liberals are in court, right? Now, I say the real people that are in court. This, I mean, I think she's also Palestinian, right? And she was really pro and she built off her platform doing this. And at some point, when Black people said that they are going to stay away from because they need to focus on what is going back home because election is all at hand. Before they said, okay, we are supporting Kamala Harris and all that, they all went wild. She is also part of the people that went wild. Why? Because Black people said we are taking care of home before any other place. Now to find out that she is following, that tells you a whole lot. But one thing I am grateful for, I don't know where she lives or where she is at the moment, but I hope she's part of the people that will be getting their bags really ready to go back because they absolutely know that there is no mercy. Some of them think they are smart, not knowing that they are damaging their own. Because tell me how all of a sudden, I mean, you were so into it that your people deserve freedom and all that. And all of a sudden, the same person that said, I am going to clear them, you already jumped on them and then started saying that some people think really somehow. So who are the people that think somehow? I mean, it's really, I mean, I love it. One thing I love about politics, I love the fact that you cannot even trust your friend or your neighbor. There are some people you can trust, but there are some people you cannot trust when it comes to politics because they will do the worst. When I say the worst, and then come back and look dead in your face and tell you, I did it and I just happened and it happened, or maybe I was just exercising my civil right and all that. I love it for them. I love it for them that they are going to F around absolutely and find out. Now, this is also to confirm that Black people were not going crazy or they were not hallucinating or they are not mad, right? So it is obvious that they told them to vote for T and they voted for T, which I do not have any problem with, right? But where I have problem is the fact that they have been chastising people that look like me all this period. And still to this very moment, coming out to tell us that we are accusing them that they are one of the reasons why Kamala Harris did not win, when about 3 point something million or almost 4 million of them voted for T. It's really going to play out. You see this 2025, some people are going to hear it. And I am just going to sit down and watch. The best I can do is report and give you a laughing emoji because you all are a mess. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.